Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. Okay, so this is exciting. We have a merger. Tonight, we are merging the Collaboration Culture podcast by Coffee and Collaborations with the Praying CEO. And I, Kimberly Winborn of Kimberly Winborn LLC, and also founder of Beauty 180 Incorporated, am going to be interviewing several women all month long, women who are dynamic business women. I am truly excited to to undergo this undertaking, and I should be joined by some others who will help me host throughout the month. But it's going to be primarily me. All right. So, as I said, I am your host. I want you to go ahead and share out the broadcast before I bring my guest on. So, if you are here live, let us know who you are, what your business is, if you're a business owner, what you got going on this Friday evening, and who is a woman in your life that has made a difference. Women's History Month, the color is purple. So I have on purple. Today I did an event earlier where we were focusing on women networking and collaborating. And it was an amazing event. So I asked all the ladies to wear purple because the Women's History Month, that is one of the colors, right? And it represents the suffrage movement. The suffrage movement of women. We all know that women have had a bit of a time in the world. I won't even just say the United States, but in the world when it comes to our rights, our independence, so many freedoms and all of that. So the color is purple, and that is why you got a little bit of green and white in there too. But if you go to look online and Google, you'll see the theme for the year as well. And so what we're doing is representing business ownership, business women by highlighting someone every day this month. So if you could please share. This evening we have S.J. Hall, Sheila Judge Hall, who has been a professional artist and educator for over 45 years. She shares her art and teaches art to help others enjoy the expression of bold colors and patterns. Her paintings and wearable art have been exhibited from Alaska to North Carolina and purchased internationally. Art is an expression and can reflect one's environment and circumstances. And so we're going to talk a little bit about some of the things that she does for corporations, some of the things that she's able to do for you if you potentially need someone to come in, some of the things we've done together, and just how important collaboration is to her business, and also ultimately how important God is to her business, right? To her life. So let's welcome Sheila.
Hello.
Hello, good evening, Miss Sheila.
Hello, hello.
So glad to
Glad,
have you.
and I'm so glad to be here. Sorry I didn't get the purple memo, but I,
No, it's okay. I didn't give it. I didn't want to, it's already Friday and we coming on
yeah,
here live. I didn't, I was like, as long as she gets here, it's fine.
yes,
So welcome. I want you to have an opportunity. You already had an opportunity to share with your network, right?
yes.
Okay.
It shared. Mhm.
All right. We want to make sure that your people are able to see you. And so tell us a little bit about yourself, something that I didn't read in the bio that really stands out about your life, if you would like to share that with us.
Okay, well, let's see. Something that really stands out about my life. I guess the fact that I've been an artist for as long as I can remember. Uh, I don't want to date myself too much, but I remember as a child when those little uh, contests would come in the newspaper. Can you draw this? And I would draw it and send it in, um, and we would get stuff to come to the house. A suggestion that I go to art school. They probably sent that to everybody, but I took it seriously, and that's really what I wanted to do. But no one took that too serious. Oh, you want to be an artist? Well, that's nice that you like to draw. My senior year in high school was the first time I ever got a formal art teacher, and it's like a light bulb went off for me because I was the type of student who had to study extra hard uh, to read and comprehend. And but whenever I was doing a project or hands-on doing art, I was happy. And so when I met this art teacher and realized that she had made her career through her art, I knew that I was going to be able to enjoy that and help others enjoy it.
Oh, that's so awesome. I love a story like that. Somebody said, I'm so excited about this. I don't know who it is because you have to give StreamYard permission to show your name and all of that. So if you could do that, then we'll know who you are. But I'm going to try and go to one of the pages to see if I can see who that is. Miss Sheila is amazing. So she not only is a business owner, a grandmother, a mother, a friend, a soror, but she is also, yes, what'd you say?
No, that, all of those.
Oh, okay, it's Carrie. It's Carrie. Thank you, Carrie. I'm
Oh,
excited too. But Miss Sheila is also a member of the Praying CEO, a founding member of the Praying CEO. We have had an event with her leading it called Paint and Praise. That was a couple years ago because it wasn't 2023. I believe it was the end of 2022. And so,
yes.
Miss Sheila, what sort of events and things can you do for others that you really love? I know we really love the Paint and Praise, but what are some
Mhm.
other events that event options that you provide?
Okay, I think one of the things I enjoy most is bringing art to people who don't really feel confident about their creative skills. I uh, have developed a team building training in which I can go into a staff development training, and I work with the manager or the team leader and come up with a design that um, really represents the company or what their team mission is. I usually get some guidelines uh, about their colors, and I give some guidelines on some canvases, but I don't draw the whole thing out. Um, and I come into the training and give some instructions. And what this training does, it helps the manager. Now, this is some of the things the managers have told me they learned from the training. I gave the team a specific set of guidelines that they had to follow. And then I gave them a set of ways that they can add variety and bring in their own creativity, yet they still had to stay within the guidelines. The same thing that maybe a project manager would give their team. You have a
Mhm.
certain amount of creativity within the guidelines, and then they have a limited palette of paint. I give each person a 12 by 12 canvas, um, and then we go about following those guidelines and painting in their canvas. And what they don't realize by the end of the training, which is usually about 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours, I have them all come and lay the canvases down, which I have numbered on the back, and they don't realize it. And without knowing it, all of the pieces fit together. And if they have stayed within the guidelines, they have a collaborative painting, which is large enough to hang in the workplace. And as they pass this painting every day, they can see where they have what they brought to the table, how they use their creative skills to create this collaborative painting. And usually there's one or two people in there that say, well, I can't draw a straight line. And I say, well, I got a ruler for that. I can help you with that one. And I
Yeah.
use it and help them open up and get freer about what they're doing. And, you know, after about 30, 40 minutes, they're just enjoying what they're doing and really get into it. And then when they see it all put together and know that they had a hand in creating that piece of art, it's always fulfilling for them.
Yeah.
And I know right now at Johnson Community College, they have 2 murals hanging in one of their departments that the team has created, and they're very proud of their piece of art.
Yeah, yeah, that sounds fun. I'm looking forward to that in during the retreat or whenever we're able to work that out, that
Mhm.
collaborative painting as a group and a team building exercise. But even
Mhm.
like in this group, a prophetic and a trusting and a faith exercise where we can hear from God. What does it mean for you to put God first in your business?
Well, I have watched as my art has changed over the years through my experiences. There's always been I love bold colors, as you can see, but I've always tried to use my art to show my background, to show the culture that I was raised in. But the deeper that I dive into the scriptures and the closer my walk is with God, I continue to ask Him to show me how He wanted me to use my gift, the gift that He gave me of creativity, to help speak to others. And
Mhm,
as I continued to pray about that, I noticed that the subjects in my paintings uh, started to change. Although I'm still expressing, bold light and color and all of that, the subject matter seemed to change, and what people saw in the paintings. I'm always amazed when people stand back and look at one of my paintings and tell me what it means to them or what they see, even in some of my abstract work. And
yeah,
so I feel that that's God using my art to carry a message to people.
yeah, yeah. And I love it too. And I see at the events and different things like that where people are inspired by your art. They're inspired to just sit and take a moment themselves to do some sort of creative expression, whether they're amazing at it or just starting out like myself. I never seem to finish a painting. I get distracted. I don't know if I have painting ADD, but anyway, but I love the idea of sitting there and just playing with colors. I think that's what happens. Like I start kind of playing around and I get distracted. But I think it's just such a great exercise of peace. And I do believe that it's a place where we can meet God. And I want to ask you when you have wearable art, and I often see you
Mhm.
wearing your pieces. What's something that you can do for entrepreneurs and when it comes to your wearable art and some of the pieces that you made, do you have a favorite?
Well, the way I design may not be the way that a lot of surface designers design. Some people design paint repeated designs specifically for fabrics.
Hmm.
I choose to paint the paintings that I'm going to paint, and then I go within those paintings and find areas that show rhythm or have repeated pattern in the painting, and then I pull from those sections and are able to have fabrics created from those portions of the painting.
Hmm.
And in that way, I'm able to, like I said, get fabric made, to have garments produced. I also have a line of home decor, and I can do commissions where people tell me, I've had one lady who asked me to just come look at her house, and she wanted me to look at the fabrics and the colors, and then she told me her idea of what she'd like to see in the painting, but then she gave me my artistic license to create what I thought
Hmm.
should be in the room. And so I have done commissions, um, but I usually let the art kind of happen and then see
Hmm.
what I can do with it after that. I don't like to restrain myself from where the color is going to go or how the pattern is going to turn out. And I've had to learn to keep up with the times and learn how to also use technology to manipulate some of the designs to come up with what I want.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite of anything that you've ever created?
Uh, well, I guess the one that's behind me that you can see a bit of it is called "Sing Praises." I'm gonna let you look up that. That's the wall hanging of it. Uh,
Yeah,
I still have the original painting, but that's a tapestry. Because what I like so much about that one, it shows people how you can just use very simplistic shapes and colors and still give a message just by the hands up in the air and the gestures in the that you can tell that sing praises is what these people are doing. It represents a choir or a group of people. Um,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
But
I think. Go ahead.
well, I was going to say the one thing that I really like about art. I, of course, an educator, a retired school administrator, and I was always able to use art to help build self-esteem, to help keep students who were not necessarily happy about being at school, to keep them interested in school and get them involved in a different way to really pull out uh, the talent and the creativity within them. And
Yeah,
so I've always seen that as teaching the whole child that the arts are a very important part of that. So uh, that's how I ended up being a school administrator. I was advocating for the arts, not wanting them to cut the arts out. And before I knew it, instead of just teaching art, I was not just teaching art, but instead of teaching art alone, I was also uh, an administrator so that I had even more to say about it and to be involved with the districts that I worked in.
yeah, yeah. And then I agree with you, as far as keeping art in the school and that being a modality of healing, overcoming. So many things are happening in people's children's homes and coming to school and singing or doing art or woodworking, or back in the day, they did home ec and we sold and cooked, but it could be
Right.
such an outlet to overcome some of the things going on at home. It's like you get to create and also be encouraged in that way to produce something amazing. And so I'm a real big proponent of art, whatever way of expression. And one of the things that I love about you, and I always used to say when I first met you, this is the thing that stood out to me so much, was that you can create customized designs for business owners, even though it's not something you do a lot of, that you can do that. So would you like to share anything about that, Miss Sheila, or you just want to skip? That was so impressive.
Yes. Well, as an artist, I like to be challenged, and so when I'm asked to do something like that, I get as much information as I can, and then I try to come up with one or two designs for the client to look at and decide, if this is something they want. I like to mainly consult to find out, what is it that you're looking for, help people decide, what their color schemes would be, what type of thing that they would like to have in their home or office. Um, and
Yeah,
it's just fun. And my tagline is, let me add a little color to your life. So
yeah,
I think since art is such a free form of expression, that anytime you create a design, whether it's for your business or for your home, it should be something that you see a little bit of yourself in, or that you can make a statement with.
yeah, absolutely. So what are you looking forward to this year?
I'm looking forward to bigger and better things. I am not quite sure exactly what is going to happen next, but I'm open. I have had the pleasure in 2024 to go and do some, during Black History Month, I did some presentations at an elementary school. I taught with students about reading and art, and was able to share a book with them and find things in the book uh, that showed how the author and the illustrator worked together, and then help them to understand how that is a career that came out of a love for drawing or a love for art, because most young children love art. And they need to know that if that's something that they're really good at, then that's something that they can develop, whether it's just for their hobby or their pastime. But they also need to learn what the careers are that go with art, and they're ever changing, especially in this time of technology.
Yeah.
So I always try to help students understand that if there's a gift that they have and they really want to nourish it, and develop it, then, and if that's important to them, they shouldn't put it down. They should use that to their advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. How has
Mhm.
community? I know community is really important for you. Our community, you go to church, all the various communities, being a part of a sorority. So communities are big for you. How has the Praying CEO community or any other community affected your business acumen, your knowledge of various things? How has community made an impact in your business?
Okay. Well, as far as my business, I have created art and sold art for a long time, but the actual business came out of a request from my sorority sisters who kept asking me to design things with their color schemes. And before I knew it, I was a vendor for the sorority. And that lasted for a good while. And it kind of shut down during COVID, and I didn't recover that part of my business, but it made me really stop and think, okay, Lord, where do you want me to go next? And I knew that the deeper I concentrated on my paintings, that there's other avenues out there for me. So this year I was able to do a collaboration with Raleigh, the city of Raleigh,
Mm,
and they purchased one of my designs in the city beautification project, where they created wraps around some of the ugly old electric boxes in the city. They decided to decorate some of those, and so I have a piece of art on the corner of Hargett and Person Street in Raleigh, and that
nice.
just opened up another door to make me think, okay, I can continue to do my art, even if I'm not going to vendor fairs and setting up lots of booths for the sorority. I can work with art organizations, work with the art councils. I have gone into Sampson County and worked with their art council and done presentations and classes there. So just being out in the community, I love going into senior citizens communities and working with seniors and doing art anywhere that I can bring a little bit of joy and enjoyment. Uh, it just means so much to me. I also had the pleasure of working with Garner, downtown Garner, and they're renewing, reviving the old part of Garner down near the railroad tracks. And for a while, they were doing different art projects. And as you notice, there's murals been going up around town. And I had the chance to do a temporary billboard project there. And it was fun to do that and to use a subject of from the community. We had to make sure that it was speaking about Garner. So I used some of the landmarks from downtown, and I featured the G Squad, which is uh, a Garner dance group, in my
Mhm.
painting. And after that was on display for almost a year, they were auctioned off, and that money part good part of that money went toward more art for the Garner community. So I always have loved doing art in the community. I've left some pieces of art in Alaska where I was doing benefits, and I've done paintings for breast cancer benefits where they've auctioned them off. And to me, as long as I'm giving to the community, that's fulfilling, and
Yeah.
it just, yeah, helps me be a better person.
Yeah. Awesome. And you are a great person. We love you here at the Praying
Okay.
CEO. Are there any other last words that you would like to share? Any other people or women that have made an impact? Just what else would you like to share to close out?
Well, I did not add in the fact that the praying CEO has meant so much to me in the last few years. I was fairly new to the Raleigh area when I just met you and started following the Praying CEO, and I realized that this was a community of women that I wanted to know more about. That they were going to help me grow, and open up and be able to express myself even better, and to be able to study the word and be around these women who love Jesus Christ has been wonderful. And to see the many things that we're able to do uh, to support the nonprofit side, and just to bring in people. And even the fact that the pandemic kind of forced us into virtual for so long, we brought in so many people that might not have ever met us or known about us, and that's been wonderful. And so I really appreciate the opportunity that you've given me today to talk a little bit about my art, my business, and the fact that by putting God first, I'm more at ease with what goes on. I'm not stressed about, if of course we want to be successful in our business, but I was at a point that I was so stressed about it that it was almost making me sick to think about, how am I going to keep this going? Now I'm at peace. As long as I'm making art and helping others make art, I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I can see the peace all over you. As you come on in the morning, you came on this morning and prayed, led us in prayer, gave a lesson. I see the growth, the everything. And it's such a joy to have you to be a part of the group, but then also it's a joy to be able to highlight you this evening, and everywhere I go as much as I can, and others in the group, for us to highlight one another. So I am so glad that we have this opportunity to share some time together this evening. Thank you all for joining us. Be sure to join us every morning at 7:30 a.m. for prayer. Miss Sheila usually leads prayer on Friday mornings. I know all of
Yes.
March she will be leading prayer every Friday morning. And the Praying CEO is the ministry side of the nonprofit Beauty 180 Inc. And we focus on putting God first at the helm of our businesses. So we are going to God as the CEO, the visionary, the ultimate planner, manager, all of that. And we gain the tools from God. And so our tools are prayer, Bible study, community,
Yes.
worship, meditating on His Word, right? And and seeking to
Yes.
grow uh, the community, the kingdom of God, our evangelism. These are all the different things that, as business women, we have vowed in the Praying CEO to focus on. So, Ms. Sheila is doing an amazing, amazing job. And lastly,
Yes.
Miss Sheila did, I want to highlight this. She supported her church's entrepreneurial efforts. They started an
Yes.
entrepreneurial effort, and I believe you all have met 2 or 3 times or so now. Is there one coming up?
Oh, no, we did four. We did one each quarter in 2023, and
Awesome.
now in 2024, I think it will start back up in the fall. But yes, we through the Economic Empowerment Ministry, we
Yes.
started having networking events and bringing in businesses. Our vendor fair event was huge. That's the one
Yeah,
that Ryan Ray came and spoke to,
right.
and to all the black businesses in the area that showed up. It was amazing to get to network and meet each other and learn from each
Yeah.
other.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
I had to shout that out before we close
Yeah,
out. Just some great work that you're doing. So we'll be back here
thank
tomorrow with another woman who is making history. Thank you all for sticking with us. If you want to stay in touch with Miss Sheila, which I highly recommend, her information is scrolling across the screen. Be sure to follow her on Instagram. Be sure to connect with her through Facebook, see her here on the Praying CEO, and then go to her website and see all the things that SJ Hall Design has to offer through the website. Okay? So thanks
you. Yes.
again, Miss Sheila. Everybody have an amazing rest of your Friday evening. This has been wonderful for day one. I can't wait for the others. Night, night.
Yes. Good night. Thank you. Bye.
This has been a Coffee and Collaborations media production.